Welcome back to What the Haul. This is the one brand review for the Dr. Barbara Sturm for darker skin tones. Cue the music. So let's get right into the brand review. The first item that I purchased is the foam cleanser. Went on various retailers and I looked at their question sections and I extracted questions that I thought were useful. First, with regards to the foam cleanser, what does darker skin tone mean? 1, you tan easily and you rarely burn. And 2, you have a high likelihood of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So that means if you get a scar, a scratch, a pimple, there's going to be some evidence of the trauma that was left onto your skin. I mean, there's quite a dramatic way of explaining it, but yes, it leaves behind evidence. That's why I'm the ideal person for a product like this. You can see by my shade of fluorescent beige, when summer comes, I could be a little bit deeper than this, but when we're in the dead of winter, I'm going to be this color. And so if you can relate on that level, these products are for you. With that out of the way, the foam cleanser is fine. It's soap free. It's very gentle, but never dry. They have launched a couple of other cleansers. There's a cream cleanser now. There's a cleanser for acneic skin, but this is really designed to be a one size fits all. No matter how dry or how oily, anyone could use this. Second item, the enzyme cleanser. So the enzyme, it asks, what benefits do you get from this version compared to the original? It's the same question about, do I use the enzyme for darker skin tones or the regular one? My top concern is always having an even complexion. So that's why I'm buying this product. I love powdered cleansers, powdered exfoliants. I love being able to create the texture that I want to work with as opposed to what comes in the tube or the jar. I liked this enzyme one of 2 ways. You could use it on its own. It foams a little bit, almost like the Dermalogica microfoliant, but less scratchy. If I feel like I want a super deep clean, a pump of the foam, mix in some enzyme into it, create a paste, and that gives a really deep, thorough cleanse. So that's my 2 methods of application. Of the products that I purchased from Dr. Sturm, the enzyme is absolutely one of the things I would repurchase. The next item, or the third item, is the toner. Does this have a scent? This is one of these brands that's somewhere between clinical and experiential. So not quite La Roche-Posay, but not Chantecaille. No essential oils, no rose fragrances, but not as sterile and as dull as like a La Roche-Posay, where it's still highly active, but also has some pleasure, some enjoyment to it. So there is a slight fragrance. It's almost like a soap and water scent, if that. Although it's marketed as a toner, I would classify this more as a essence. If you use it with a cotton, you can use it as like a clarifying or an added step to clean and make sure that there's nothing left on your skin. But you can use it almost like a compensating product or like an essence by pressing it on because it is so moisturizing. I would even argue for those people who are a little apprehensive about this brand, you've heard about the serum, try this toner, see if it makes a change or some improvement for you. And if you like it, definitely get into it. After the toner comes the serum. So the question that comes up is, can light skin tones use this? Anyone can absolutely use this. This product that says for darker skin is designed primarily for people who are Fitzpatrick 4, 5, 6. So in this image, they highlighted Jessica Alba, who I believe is half Filipino. Anyone who is Jessica Alba skin or deeper would benefit from this sort of product. Are you easy to tan? And are you easy to scar? If you answer yes and yes to those 2 questions, then absolutely use this product. This range of products initially was Dr. Sturm and an Angela Bassett collaboration that came out in 2006. All the cartons were pink. Angela is no longer part of the equation, so they were kind of ahead of their time. You know, back in 2006, they were actually thinking about the needs of people with black and brown skin, which very smart. There aren't too many brands that do it, especially not in the luxury premium space. So hats off to the brand for seeing that gap in the marketplace. So that was the initial concept, and now it's just folded into the regular range of product. I purchased the serum just off of the strength of my friend's recommendation. She said this is one of the best products that she found, and normally I do not buy hyaluronic serums. I liked it. I thought it was an okay product. I didn't react, and so I bought the serum and then subsequently bought the rest of the brand just to get that full experience. This I would skip. I think it's good. I don't think it's that great. We're on to the fifth item is the cream. The cream comes in two textures. You have the regular cream and the rich cream. I would always opt for the richer version, but at the time of purchasing this, it wasn't in stock. Is this product and the ingredients contained therein safe to use whilst pregnant? I love and hate this question. Love it because this is my opportunity to remind you we're just strangers on the internet. I'm in no position to give you any sort of medical advice. No two pregnancies are the same as far as I know. So you could take advice from your sisters and your friends and whomever, but ultimately go to your doctor. Although you can refer to the website and see if the brand is saying it's safe, what harm is it bringing this question to a medical professional and asking them for their 2 cents? I hope that wasn't too patronizing, but I really think it's a medical question. It deserves medical attention. I love the cream. It was surprisingly more hydrating than I anticipated. It's almost like a gel cream texture because it's loaded with hyaluronic and different emollient ingredients. It almost has like that time release thing about it where you put it on, it absorbs completely. As the day progresses, the skin gets more and more hydrated, more luminous. I think layering all of these things consistently day after day could have helped to make my skin that much better. Just as a standalone moisturizer, I think it's brilliant. I think if you are dry, maybe not for you, but if you have pretty normal skin or if you're an oily person who wants something fresh, but really hydrating for nighttime use, the classic cream in the darker skin tones is wicked. I like this one a lot. The final full-size product that I purchased is the Sun Drops SPF 50, and this asks, just started using the Sun Drops, but not sure if it should be applied last or before face cream. The Sun Drops seem to just flake off the surface of my skin. You have to kind of get over the packaging because it is in a pipette format. You're thinking it's a serum. You want to apply it underneath your moisturizer. You do whatever feels right to you. But as somebody who was using the full protocol, I would layer it, toner, serum, moisturizing cream, and then the Sun Drops. And typically I use a full pipette of the Sun Drops over top of everything else as a sealant. This is an important part to bring up here. So the Sun Drops are quite emollient. In the wintertime, doing those 4 layers, perfectly fine, very comfortable. Again, I live in Canada, so it gets very arid, polar vortexes, all that kind of stuff. But come summertime, unless you have a dry skin, the Sun Drops may not be for you. I would use the Sun Drops on their own during the summertime. On the face, it's great. On the neck, it gets a bit too damp. No Casper situation. Again, it's that texture thing. You have to want something that's really emollient and really hydrating to get along with this product. That said, where this person speaks about the Sun Drops rolling and flaking, that definitely has to do with some other product that you're using because, again, I layered so many things with this Sun Drop. I mixed it into some other moisturizers and never did it pill, flake, or roll. The last thing that I wanted to flag up is I purchased one of the travel kits and I bought it on the Essence sale. What do they call this? Everything else section is quite advanced. There's so many different things. You can find Clé de Peau foundation, Byredo fragrances, Diptyque candles, you name it. There is so much going on over there. Things that I would have repurchased from that kit were the mask and the exfoliant. The exfoliant is one of the best scrubs I've ever come across. It's very creamy. It's in a nice base. It does feel nice and abrasive without being too scratchy. And the mask was extraordinary. It comes in like this sort of cooling, fresh gel texture, maybe aloe base or something. And it's the sort of product that stays creamy and never gets tight. But unlike my Sicily pink clay mask, this definitely had a more clarifying, more purifying action to it. So I was really impressed by the clay mask at Dr. Sturm. I thought that was a really beautiful product. I would absolutely purchase the full-size version of that. And as well, I got the Dr. Sturm Super Anti-Aging Hand Cream. It's good. It's not life-changing. I think there's definitely far superior hand creams in the marketplace, but it's a good hand cream nonetheless. If you smell that, that's like the scent of Sturm. That's what I think of is that hand cream. It's a very mild citrus soap and water type scent that dissipates very, very quickly. So that's a roundup of all the things that I purchased from Dr. Sturm. If you have questions, as always, feel comfortable to leave them down below. I will happily answer. Thumbs up, thumbs down, do whatever feels right to you. If you want to subscribe, join my corner of the internet. Thank you for listening. Thank me for speaking, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.